Okay, so welcome back, everybody. We have another day of the round robin in Veldhoven. This is the final match of the final day of the round robin. And so we will be jumping into the knockout phases after this. But I'm joined here by Robert, Todd, and Dan Korbel for today, and jump into the action.
Adam, nice to see you.
Yes, thanks for joining. All right, so I'll just do a quick review while we're waiting for them to give us cards over here. It looks like in the U31s, because everybody other than the U26s is now, the round robins are finished. So these are, I guess we can say, final qualifying results. So the top 8 in each group qualify, and we can see we have the cutoff at Scotland here with 201 in the U31s. So USA1 did not make it, unfortunately. Then in U16s, both our US teams made it. USA2 staged a very impressive comeback.
That they did.
And because I think they were in last place after 3 matches. And
they were 0-3 after 3 matches.
Yeah, and they came back to qualify, which is fantastic. So, but we'll have both U.S. teams in the under 16s. Well done to all of them, and that should be great to see. And then in the women's, our USA team struggled a bit, so neither wound up qualifying, which is a bit unfortunate. But nonetheless, it's good that we're able to now have 2 USA teams for all of these groups. So, and in the U21s as well, both our US teams qualified, and both reasonably comfortably. So that's quite good. And finally, in the U26s, which is what we'll be watching today. We have our USA1 team is leading comfortably. They are not quite a lock, but pretty close to winning the round robin. And unfortunately, our USA2 team seems to be out of range of qualifying. Mm-hmm. But
we would need a lot of cell phone penalties.
Yes. Yes, my understanding is there's actually been quite a few penalties this week.
But not really for cell phones. All the penalties are for lineups, because there's a strict automated 10-minute grace period after your match ends to get your next lineup in, and it's actually really easy to get distracted and forget to do that. And there's no warning until it's sort of like they get you at the 11th minute, and then you get a warning. So.
Right.
Dan, you should go around and start calling the other coaches on all the other teams.
Just call all their cell phones.
Right? Yeah, call their cell phones.
I'll just sneak into the closed room, just deposit some cell phones.
Yes, exactly. And I guess for those who are not aware, Dan is NPC for the USA 2 under 26 team. So unfortunately, they are not making it, but that does mean that he is on site in Veldhoven. And so is borrowing a laptop and joining us here. So thank you for that.
Well, I'd be surprised if you were the PC, the playing captain.
Well, they told me I could pass for under 31. I don't believe them, but I told them I'm sorry, but it's an under 26 team, so there's
the gray in your beard delays the
Yes. A couple years ago, probably, but
Well, they told me about this product, like Touch of Gray. You can like they like less gray.
Yes. But
we know what to get you for a gift for the Nationals, right?
Oh, thank you. And Adam, you can get me a toupee for the Nationals, and I can really.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
I think a mohawk. I think a mohawk toupee is got to be good. Yeah.
I think I could rock a mohawk.
The green mohawk. You could rock the green mohawk.
Sure, let's go.
Challenge accepted.
Nice. Okay, let me switch this over here and over here. We should have cards shortly on this front. It looks like we're seeing they're going to do Greece versus Turkey, Italy, Netherlands, Hungary, France, and Israel, USA1. So we will, as fun, biased people, will choose Israel, USA1, which should actually
They're
be
all great matches, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, Israel, USA1 should be a very good match, as both teams are, I believe, 1 and 2, or 1 and 3.
But
1 and 3.
Yeah, I know that USA is motivated to keep the top spot.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will manage to do it. So, I still working on timing the start time just right, so that after we finish the initial chat and run through, the hands are just going live. One of these times I'll get it right.
Promises, right?
Yes, exactly.
Have you had anyone on who's actually on site, Adam? On the screen?
No, I believe you're the first.
Well, I mean, I would say the playing conditions are quite good. Like, they have really good screens. Everything starts on time. Instead of bidding with bidding boxes, they're using tablets. So every player gets actual physical cards, and that's how you play. But during the bidding, they have like a little tablet, and you just place your bid on the tablet. And as you know, because you can see, if you're looking at the results, you can see all the results and all the opening leads and all the entire bidding, right? And I think the players mostly like it. I think it's very well received. But that is new for this time.
Fantastic. Yeah. So
they did some of that at the European Championships as well. So
yes. Okay. So all right. Well, I guess since this table has cards, we'll hang out here, because we've also not spent a whole table at Ben and Kevin's table, so that should be fun.
Yeah. This is quite a long-running partnership for juniors, I would think.
Yes.
I mean, do you know how old they were when they started playing together, Adam?
I believe their first was in 2012, if I remember right.
Wow.
So, I mean, for a junior, this is a very established partnership.
Almost as long as it can go.
Yeah,
no, actually, no, maybe it was 20. I think it was 2014 in Turkey. I think in the U21s was their first, but maybe there was also a 2013 in there. I'm not 100%.
But about a decade is a long time for an under 26 partnership. Let's just say.
Yes, that's definitely true. So here we see sort of a marginal game force from South, but North does have an 8-card suit to work with. So
well, it's the juniors, so there's no such thing as a marginal game force. I've been noticing that all week long.
Do you think they did not have a 3-spade rebid in their repertoire here from North? This just sort of set trump.
It may show a better, a suit that's more solid for them.
Yeah. Robert and I actually we had this come up and discussed this rather extensively after we had a little adventure together with the 3-spade rebid. But I personally I actually like to play that it's a suit that plays for one loser opposite a singleton, at least a 7-card suit, and so this would very much qualify. But that's certainly not an opinion shared across the board. So
it's pretty reasonable, I think.
Yes.
We came to a conclusion. Okay.
Well, I don't think this board will be a swinging during many matches. You
No.
make 5 and you're off 2 key cards.
Yes.
And you're safe at the 5 levels, so
Exactly.
no real.
Yeah.
There's even no real shot of going down in the 5 level.
Yeah, we're making 6. I mean, they couldn't even duck these hearts a couple times if they wanted to.
Right.
Yes. Right. I am going to throw this in the BBO chat in a second. Yeah, this is not a particularly challenging hand to tackle. So.
It looks fun when you pick it up. You have an 8-card spade suit and a good hand, but it got a little dull after that.
Right. Well, I mean, even if you do choose to rebid 3 spades, partner is not going to be very cooperative, and even if you were to go so far as to ask for key cards, you'll still find out that you don't have enough. So
exactly.
okay, throw that in
So that's a
there.
nice solid 3-club opening bid.
That is. I'm in red, white, and second seat.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
Probably
to
the
have
most
it. That's certainly having it.
I've noticed there's a huge trend in the modern style to have like really silly hands when you're non-vulnerable, just to try to get in the opponent's way.
Yes.
Have you noticed that too?
Definitely, but I think in the same way that it's gotten, we'll say, sillier, not vulnerable. I think it's also gotten a little bit sounder vulnerable, right? That people really do have much more of a strong distinction between the two of them.
Adam, are you speaking more for yourself or for the rest of the junior, the current under?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Would you guys balance with Kevin's hand here?
I would be a little tempted, but I have queen third of clubs, and partner didn't act.
Yeah, partner didn't act, and we have long clubs, so partner probably doesn't have like enough values that we're going to make a game.
Mm-hmm. Match points, it's a harder decision, I think.
Mm-hmm. But it's so tempting, you have like a maximum and both majors.
I think at match points I would bid, but here I don't think I would.
Well, interesting to see what Kevin does.
Yeah, I mean, even at match points, I don't think it makes sense to bid, because so often, like you're off at least 2 or 3 club tricks, and the opponents are well aware that you're stretching, so that if you're wrong, you'll get doubled more often.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. At match points, they'll be more
likely to double you.
He's a little protected by being a passed hand. So if he doubles and corrects diamonds, partner's not going to think he has a huge hand or anything, just that he has a weird hand.
Right. The worry is that those diamonds could be at a high enough level to where they may not have a great fit. Right. Partner could be 2-3, 5-3, 2-3, 6-2.
They could have no fit.
I mean,
yes.
My partners usually have.
Well, if you count on South for 7 clubs, it's not super likely partner has 3 of them. That'd be pretty unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Then it's important the partner plays it, right? So that there's no club lead. So,
right.
South might have, ace king 7th and no entry.
Yes, this is true. But yeah, I mean, I think he did well to pass out 3 clubs, especially at imps, trying to sort of thread the needle for maybe a part score deal, and risking a large number in the process.
I mean, that is exactly what could have happened had he come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 3 hearts would not be a fun contract.
No, North would know what to do with that.
Yes.
This looks like a trivial 110.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess
the player could make 4 if they finesse the jack of clubs.
Yeah,
and they probably will. I mean, there's not really any strong reason not to, perhaps, that I can see. Right. I guess it's also the only thing is that Kevin did, first of all, he did pass. With this, I mean, obviously it's a dismal 11, but it is 11, right? Declarer may, be able to get a sense of where, that Kevin has the queen jack of spades, the queen of diamonds, at least 1, maybe card. 2 hard honors. So, maybe
may decide the queen of clubs is offside and just go for the drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's worth noting that I personally, I would have opened Kevin's hand. And
would you open? I guess they play a sound standard approach, and that's probably why
they do. But I mean, look what would have happened had he opened. Right, it would go a spade, 3 clubs, double, check 3 hearts, and
maybe even four.
you could forgive West for raising to 4.
Yes, and then you could forgive North for doubling.
Yes.
Yes.
So
North would throw all of the double cards on the
There'd be a
table.
lot of forgiveness after that result. Go ahead.
yes, and it would be necessary because 4 hearts doubled would really not. It would fare even worse than 3 hearts doubled had he balanced, and
I think it's
that
like
wasn't going to be very pretty either.
So Kevin did very well in this hand to stay
Pass
in the
twice, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, well, certainly once he saw the dummy, I think he could feel pretty confident and pretty happy in his decision.
He's like, okay. All right, looks like making 3. He went for the club drop for probably all the reasons Adam and Robert were saying.
Yes. And yes, to Eliran's point in the chat, this is the last round of the round robin. I think there is carryover, so this match is actually quite important. Oh wow! The other table played 3 hearts doubled making.
And made it.
That
so
seems
probably
surprising.
The jack of clubs may not have been overtaken.
That's possible, but it was played it was played by East, so that is certainly a surprising result.
That is a surprise.
Almost seems like has to be a diamond lead then.
Let's see. So, Ace of clubs, King of clubs, and a club were it pitched a spade, and so now.
Oh, it's listed as 3 hearts down 1 on the website.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't know that it actually made. Maybe that's a viewgraph error.
I mean, it seems like
from the
I'm looking at the official score repository, and it's down 1.
Okay.
Okay.
In fact, it's down 2. It's down 2 on the official score.
Oh wow. Okay.
So according to that website, this is actually 5 imps for USA, not 12 imps for Israel.
Huh. Okay. Well, I guess we will. we will see if they adjust it shortly. But I would be surprising. But the ending that they got to, it looked like they maybe had a shot for it. But
sorry, it says 8 tricks, so it's down 1, so it's a push.
Yeah. Okay.
According to the website.
Okay. All right. Well,
an exciting push, right? 110 into 1.
Yes. It's even more exciting when it comes in as a mate.
Yeah.
Right. So again, we see Ben choosing to pass with a hand that I think many people would be tempted to overcall, and he is vulnerable, and he does have 3 spades. So,
this one I agree totally with this pass. I mean, you've taking your life in your hands, bidding 2 hearts or doubling with this hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you gave me 1 more diamond, I would be tempted to at least double.
Like 1 less spade, 1 more diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Switch.
I would also probably double because it's a little safer, but you could still get in trouble.
Certainly. But
if
partner was a pass hand, I would not. But when partner is unpassed, you kind of you're risking a little bit of what's almost happened here, right? Where you both have a reasonable hand and you get frozen out of the auction.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's high risk, like both ways with the West cards. Whether you bid or you pass, like something bad could happen to you.
Yes.
Definitely a bit of a style issue, whether you're go slow and balance back.
I think with 5-3-3-2, that's a real negative for declaring. And I think with such a bad heart suit and with 3 spades, these are all big negatives. And it's really scary to bid red versus white.
Yes.
Basically, my metric, if it goes pass, and before they even reopen double, I'm already crawling under the table, then I won't overcall.
That's a reasonable metric. I mean, I think this sort of spot, because you have spade length, you're a little bit protected in that if partner has spade shortness, again, they're going to go out of their way to bid, and if they don't,
Yes.
then perhaps you actually have a number of spade losers where you didn't really miss out by not bidding.
And actually, Ben found a great lead here. Instead of leading his ace king of clubs, he just came out with a trump. He was looking at his heart length and strength behind declare, and I guess he just figured like let's protect those cards.
Yeah, I mean, this is an auction. You know, when they show two suits and take a preference, it's an auction that very often you do want to sort of blindly lead a trump on, right? Even if your trump holding is a little bit sensitive.
Yeah.
Do you think here with the slower heart tricks, it's better to lead ace of spades in a spade?
It might smush something with partner, you
It might.
know. You might not want to do that. Maybe partner's like queen 10 9 of spades and you just blow up the whole suit when you don't have to, or
Right.
king queen double.
Yeah, I mean, dummy doesn't. You don't know that dummy is coming with three spades, right?
This is true.
So, because dummy is coming with three spades, you know, there's this problem that you or sorry, you know, because you don't know that they are right. If partner has three spades, they could have any sort of spade, you know, spade owners in spots where it might actually be relevant. And
Yeah.
here Ben is sort of debating maybe partner has king jack doubleton, but he can't really afford to risk it, right?
Mm.
And so now it's a question of whether partner has honor doubleton in spades, right, where he could play another heart, give partner the uppercut, maybe they can get to him in clubs, and then they clear trumps, right? Or whether he starts with just plays ace in a spade.
I think when Kevin doesn't cover the 10 of spades, there's at least a pretty good chance he doesn't have a spade honor, especially because he's known to have doubleton king of hearts by now, and he wouldn't want declare to be in the dummy to possibly finesse his king of hearts. So he would often cover the spade if he could. So I think Ben's just gonna draw all the trumps.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's exactly what we see here. It looks like the other table got a little bit too high again.
The play is still interesting here in two spades. It's going to be a race between declarer and the defense to set up the diamonds and the heart before the defense taps declarer out in clubs.
Returning to the auction for a moment, would everybody have bid a no trump with the north hand?
At these colors for sure. I'm like one of the sounder like players out there. Like I pass one major more than most, but at white red, it's just so tempting to try to throw a little, dust in their eyes and respond. Often, if you don't respond with his hand type, next thing you know, you blink and they're in 3 no trump. And when you respond, you get to defend 2 hearts or something.
Adam, are you a bidder?
Absolutely. I think that when you have support, you have a escape hatch, so to say, and you're favorable, especially. So you really you're just trying to get in their way, and prevent them from easily entering the auction and knowing that you're
even can.
So it looks like the defense is going to be successful here for down 1.
Yes. So I mean, they defended well and
very well. Great lead, great continuations,
and they'll lose 6 imps for their trouble.
Well, at least it wasn't more, right?
Exactly. It certainly could have been more. So
they did the best they could.
Yes, and so this. I mean, they did well to stop in 2 spades as well. The other table got too high, and that of course got duly punished. We can peek at the auction at the other table on this board.
It's like Zach raised to 2 spades immediately instead of the 1 no bid.
Right. Well, he did show a bad raise, presumably over the double, but that was still enough for
right. So at the other table, West chose to double and pick the other poison of making sure they don't miss a game versus risking going for a number.
Yes.
And this time it worked for a funny reason.
Yes. Okay, so we see this is quite a good hand for Ben here.
Yes.
This should be a interesting one because it's a close a pretty close slam. So I predict some teams will be there and some won't.
I mean, it's a pretty good. It's a fantastic six spades. It's a question of whether, maybe there's some world where you would almost want to play seven, right? Especially because
That's pretty aggressive, but it's not bad actually. Seven,
right,
it's not great. It's not bad.
right. I mean, I've been in worse, but it's certainly.
We've seen worse this week, haven't we, Adam?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, we've seen 2 7 diamonds down ones that were pushes.
7 times double down one for a push. Yeah.
Yes, yes. One of the times somebody even bid Blackwood. That was
Blackwood. What's that?
Somebody bid Blackwood, and the other person didn't take it as Blackwood and responded with Blackwood themselves. So they were trying to Blackwood each other, and that usually doesn't work out.
Right, exactly. Well, you have to
We've
have
all
to have the
been
right
there.
number of key cards in each hand, and then
unless you randomly have the right key card answer.
Yes, I actually have had that. But so here,
almost certainly, this 3 heart jump shows at least 5 hearts, because most of the modern pairs play a little gadget when they're only 5-4.
Do we know if Kevin and Ben play Gazilli or anything, or 3 clubs?
They probably play the 3 club thing.
The 3 club gadget.
Yeah, especially considering 3 hearts was alerted, I would guess so. And
Yeah.
Kevin's 4 spades, I guess, is specifically a limit raise.
Limit raise. It means he was making a limit raise, and there's nothing special. It's just a normal limit raise. Of course, Ben's hand is so strong, he has to keep going. It's interesting what to bid over this. I think some juniors might just go straight to 6. But I think Ben's looking for 7 probably, just in case they have all this. Like if Kevin had the same hand with the king of diamonds instead of the queen.
Yeah, so this 5 heart bid should alert him to the fact that, hey, maybe we have a diamond loser to deal with, and
yes,
without knowing that partner has 6 clubs specifically, there's a worry that we're not going to be able to get rid of our diamond loser on our hearts, because
correct.
We don't really have, our hearts aren't good enough. If we have ace queen jack, for example, then we can imagine pitching.
There could still be a trouble in the heart suit itself if Kevin has 3 of them.
Right, exactly. And so even though partner has 3 trumps, you start needing some good splits and other good things to happen, to where trying to find 7 at this point feels like it's pretty over optimistic. After partner bids 5 hearts, if partner bids 5 diamonds, that's a different story.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what Ben does actually. For sure, he'll get them to 6 spades though, at least.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That would be very surprising if he did not.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, so the other
feels like 6 clubs is a little too much to bid here. So
I think I would bid 6 clubs if I had the queen instead of the jack of hearts. But without that, I think you need too much from partner for 7 to be good.
I agree with you.
So when you start sort of thinking about, okay, what you give partner hands, right? You try to run through, what can partner have for this auction, and you try to think about, hey, how when we give partner these cards, right? Like how does that sort of, are we giving them the perfecto, or are we giving them just sort of a normal random scattered whatever? And I think the more Ben thinks about it, the more he'll realize that trying for a grand.
Well, he's probably picturing either a similar hand with the king queen of hearts, where it's a reasonable grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because spades could break and you pitch all dummies diamonds, or you take a diamond finesse maybe, or maybe he's picturing this hand where instead of the 2 queens, Kevin has just the ace of clubs in it, and then again it's a pretty good grand. So he's trying one more time. Looks like. Yeah.
I think trying one more time is a little bit too much, because honestly, if partner had the ace of clubs, I think they probably should have bid 4 clubs or went more slowly.
Yeah.
But today, of course, Kevin has sort of.
If you knew you were getting the 7 of diamonds lead, you might have bid 7 spades.
Yes, yes. Do you think methods here where 4 clubs would be slamming in hearts and 4 diamonds would be slamming in spades would have been helpful? Then
Doesn't leave you much extra space.
no.
Gives you a little extra wiggle room.
But at least let you know that 4 spades is like maybe some sort
Medium,
of medium-ish, ratty limit raise as opposed to prime.
Well, it feels like having to jump with 4 spades. Having to jump to 4 spades with all of your limit raises isn't great, right?
Well, so if you have like the best possible limit raise, you just bid 3 spades and then drive yourself to the 5 level. So it's sort of like all but the top 10%, something like that. That's how most people play it, I would say.
Yes, exactly. And so, because of that, you do kind of split up the limit raises a little bit to where if you really, if you really had the king of spades, king of hearts, and ace of clubs, right, for your limit raise, that's the absolute, when partner jump shifts, that's the nuts, right? Like that is the best limit raise you could have. You have basically 3 key cards for partner. So,
right.
That's really very important. And if you don't have that, then grand probably isn't great. Same thing, king, queen of hearts, same deal. Like, so I think a lot of the hands that grand is good on, you would have bid 3 spades the first time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
No. And so it looks like he took the heart finesse, and so that'll be additional imp to Israel. And it is worth noting that Israel is close enough to USA1 that this match could potentially decide who wins the round robin, which could which I guess the winners get to choose who they play and get a reasonably sizable advantage over being, let's say, second place where you're
it's typically a big advantage to be first in the round robin because you can choose your opponent from the bottom 4 qualifiers, and usually there's a team there that you prefer to play.
Yes.
And Adam, did you say there's a carryover for the first phase of the KO matches from the Swiss?
So Joe Stokes in the chat said that he didn't think there was, and Boozy on BBO said that he thought there was. So
tell you what,
Joe says they not only get to choose their quarterfinal opponent, they also get to choose their semifinal matchup or opponent, and there's no carryover. Is what
no carryover.
So yes, so
I mean, choosing is a big advantage when you have carryover, right? So you can pick the team.
It's almost too big of an advantage. Really.
Yeah, it really. I don't like having both, having carryover and choosing the team. I think it's too much.
So
in fact, I don't think carryover is very fair.
This is an interesting sort of choice, after a spade and no trump, whether you rebid 2 clubs, whether you rebid 2 no, 3 spades. You'll find proponents for all of them. What would you?
How would you rank the actions?
You first.
Well, I'm not betting 2 clubs. My hand's too good. So if it goes all pass, I might be in a 3-3 fit with like 25 high card points. I don't think that's a winning approach. So I kind of like 2 no trump. You are balanced and you have honors everywhere, and they're kind of no trumpy hand. I would probably bid 2 no, but I think 3 spades is sort of the textbook bid here.
Yeah, I think I'm a 2 no bidder. Robert?
I think I'm definitely not bidding clubs. I mean, 3 spades would be very reasonable for me, but I don't hate 2 no either. So
Ben found an interesting lead here. I think his reasoning might be that since dummy is very strong and declares very weak, that it might be a good idea just to lead this card, figuring the king of clubs is in the dummy, and then decide how to continue from there with the low club, the queen of clubs, some other suit.
I feel like if you know the king of clubs is in the dummy, though, you might consider just leading the queen of clubs outright, right?
Yes, you might. Yes.
Yes, you have a little bit less control, but if otherwise the suit could just be frozen. Where as it is today, right? Where
Yes. Now you have to
you're
put
still
Kevin.
on lead, and you really really don't want to be on lead anymore, right?
Yes, the queen would have been more successful.
Yes. Right. Well, I mean, certainly today, but even still, even in other circumstances, being able to sort of maintain communication in the club suit means that it's likely.
Ben might be thinking that there might be time to sort out the clubs later because his partner has some points because they're 2 trump and not 3 trump. So in case dummy has like king doubleton or something like that, maybe he didn't want to blow to that. Or what if the king is with declarer?
Yes, exactly. So here, Kevin choosing not to use up his entry just yet, seeing no reason to necessarily win the ace right away. The interesting challenge is that if dummy now plays the king of diamonds, now does he win the ace? It's not clear. Right? He needs to be confident that partner's 2 of diamonds says, "Hey, I have a diamond on her."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's always tricky to defend these hands when you don't know much about declarer's hand. Like Kevin at least knows that declarer isn't getting a lot of spade tricks, not very quickly, right? And so he doesn't feel an urgency to do anything. Whereas Ben doesn't know that. So it's much more pressure from Ben's side to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Right, because Ben's looking at 2 little spades. He'll sort of understand what the hand is about, especially when declarer pitches a diamond. That diamond pitch really looks like, hey, declarer started with 5 diamonds, right?
Right.
It's almost like a idle fifth principle from declarer in some sense.
I think Kevin also can't be entirely sure which suit Ben wants him to return, because the ace of clubs lead is kind of unusual when the king is there. No, he figured it out.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess that Ben actually threw a higher heart potentially than the 3.
Maybe they're playing standard. I don't know. Certainly they were playing standard at trick 1.
Right.
The ace.
But yes, so now I think Kevin can work out at this point to win the ace of diamonds because he knows that Ben did shift to his lowest diamond, so that should mean that Ben has the queen. And so now I think it's a question of whether Kevin can see that the dummy is kind of dead now. So there's not really a dummy entry, and if South had the ace king of hearts, they would have raised to 3 now. So I think he can work out to cash the queen of spades and play a heart.
Yeah. Yep. Kevin is a really top card player, actually. So whatever Adam said, Kevin's thinking the same thing.
Yes.
Hopefully, to be fair, this is match 23 of a 5-day round robin where they've been playing a lot of bridge. So
even I'm exhausted, and I have played 0 hands.
Right. Yes.
Oh, Dad, but you've played many hands in your head. That's you were watching, right?
Interesting. So I'm surprised that Ben pitched a club here. This seems like a mistake.
And that seems
maybe
odd.
he's yes. Maybe that is. Yes, that is unusual. Now he's actually yes. Not quite sure why I did that.
Right. Well, especially when declarer pitches a club as well, because you can.
It's hard to believe he did that. Actually.
Yeah. Well, given that there's thought here, either this is about to just end in a claim, and they'll be down 2 or 3. They'll be down 3, or maybe they'll only be down, I guess, 2.
Well, if this club pitch really happened, I think this is giving Kevin pause for thought, because I think he thought he knew what the hand was, and now he's not sure anymore because of this club pitch.
Well, I guess the one thing is this club pitch, if anything, has to scream for a heart, right? It says, please, I need you to play a heart, because, I mean, it doesn't make sense why he would.
Doesn't make sense because it's the same trick.
But,
the same trick, right? If partner doesn't play a heart, you get your extra club.
Is it possible it's view graph error?
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, it certainly happens a lot. I guess we'll find out in a moment if they wind up assuming that he did not pitch a club, right? He should be down 3. And if he did, then it's down 2.
That would be such a colossal, strange play, and Ben is not the type to make that kind of play. So I'm predicting you grab Eric.
Yeah, we will we'll find out shortly, I suppose.
Yeah.
So.
Dan, do we have an update on the actual score right now through 4 boards?
Yes, according to the official site, Israel is not up 19-0. They're up. It's after 4 boards. They are up 7-0. So that's
yes. Although that actually has some spoilers on it, so I'm not going to show it. But okay, we'll go back to this view. But yes, there is a comment. So the ViewGraph operator did confirm that. Yes.
That a club was pitched.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
It seems that way. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, like I said, it is. But it was claimed down 3. So I give up.
I vote for not a club.
Okay.
I also vote for not a club.
Yeah, I think I'm in the not a club camp, especially given that it was claimed down 3. So
okay, it's unanimous, so we're just gonna go.
Yes. So in that case, well done, Ben and Kevin. Nice defense.
Yeah, very nice defense. In spite of a nice recovery after the less than optimal opening lead. Yeah,
yes.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that was Ben's thinking. Like, even when it's oopsies, it didn't really cost. He could get his partner in to fix it.
And
it is sort of a classic opening lead card combination, though. Ace Queen 10. To put
it is
table.
Yeah. So. And so South has a hand. Personally, I'm not that much of a double and bidder, but I'll be honest with you, I would double and bid with that South hand. That is too good for me.
I feel like it's right on the edge. I would probably double and bid, but I mean, he's sort of recovering nicely by bidding and then doubling.
Well, I mean, I'm not done.
I understand.
Even if it was 4 clubs, I'm not sure I'm done. Like, what are the? I have to say, the scores that we're getting from the other table really are. There's no shortage of excitement there. It looks like they did, in fact, choose to double, and it went all pass in the other room.
Might be a reason not to double, right?
I
mean, Zach
not that I love the pass from North, but still.
Yeah.
Zach Grossick in the other room is one of the more. He plays in the Zia style of flamboyant, exciting bridge, and he's very good at it. But it does lead to some interesting results from time to time.
On this auction, would you pass 3 spades if partner came alive here?
No.
Well, that's really interesting. I mean, we know partner didn't have enough to raise us the first time. We also know he has something.
Right. I mean, if partner's got a horrible hand with 3 spades, I want to play a game.
Well, it depends. The one thing though, that might slow you down is the guy on your left bid 1-no. He probably has the guarded queen.
Might have the guarded queen.
And so your hand is starting off with a trump loser. So if you look at it that way, you can't be optimistic in the spade suit itself. And that's an automatic loser. So I kind of like what Lundstein did. Although I agree, it's really close.
Yes. Partner could have 1 cover for our junk, but they really don't today.
Yeah.
And we could see Kevin's 2 of hearts most likely should be suit preference here, because it should be clear to both defenders that there's really no future in the spade suit whatsoever, or sorry, in the heart suit whatsoever. And so this 2 of hearts should be suit preference for clubs,
right?
Which helps Ben, looking at Jack fourth in both minors, be able to safely put a club on the table.
And Kevin doesn't know if that was a singleton ace of hearts or ace 9 doubleton, but Ben knows that he has the other heart and not declare. So actually, Ben's switched to the lowest club. Usually when you switch to it low in a suit, you're suggesting interest in that suit. So I believe Ben's 3 of clubs is just suggesting to Kevin that he wants Kevin to play more clubs, not hearts. So this is how Kevin can work out that Ben had a doubleton heart and isn't looking for a rough or anything.
Yes, yes, exactly. And well,
That's a
it's sort of a subtle inference,
very subtle.
but
Yeah.
I think a very good one. That if you had a singleton heart, you would try to discourage partner from continuing in clubs.
This is assuming you play an attitude style to your shifts and not a third and fifth style in the middle of the hand,
Correct.
which
If you
was one
play,
of the important agreements to have here, that it helps guide the defense.
if you play a pure count style, that wouldn't necessarily apply.
Right. However, if you're pure count and you're fourth, right, then you still survive because you look at this and you say, okay, partner might have let second best from from three, and so declarer likely has two clubs, and so we can safely cash one and get a preference signal from partner. Then, right, we can cash the other high club, and then depending on whether partner has a stiff or doubleton heart, they can play their middle high or middle low club.
Do you think Kevin's considering shifting to a trump here?
Yeah. So what Kevin's thinking about is, should he play a trump or just get out with the club? So he's deciding if he plays a club or whatever, he might be able to tap declare down if his partner has four trumps. But declare's shape in that case looks like it would be 5-1, 5-2 from the early play. And with that shape, it's not super likely declare is doubling two clubs. He probably just bid his other suit, right? A lot of the time. So I think Kevin's going to play a trump and try to protect any diamond tricks that they have.
That feels right to me. And sometimes partner has a higher trump honor where we can actually get enough trumps out for it to really matter too. So. So it looks like some of the scores that we've seen thus far here are incorrect according to the official score, even more so.
Yes.
So on board 5, I think the other room played 3 spades down 1 rather than 3 spades making. So rather than that being 10 imps, it's only 5 to the US. And on this board, I think the other room played 1 heart double making exactly 1 rather than making 2. So
Yes.
lots of I think claiming errors and whatnot to work with, but
it's actually not that easy to do the view graph because the play happens very quickly and the claiming happens very quickly, and it's very easy to miss something.
yes.
You honestly almost, to be like great at view graph, you almost have to be like pretty experienced at bridge too. So you sort of have a feel for like what's going to happen, and following along before it even happens.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Or
very
just adopt a slightly different culture of just the view graph operator interrupting the players to ask for the result on a regular basis. They don't do that after. Yes, I agree. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to make, if we're going to make broadcasting better, getting these things right becomes an important part of it, right? So,
yes, I will say to their credit, most of the sessions this week have been pretty accurate and pretty good on the view graph front. More so than I've experienced from prior championships and even prior.
sure. Dan, I wasn't suggesting interrupting during the play. I meant the result after the hand.
It's still jarring to have the view graph person, because the table gets a flow, like a partnership gets a flow to it when you're playing bridge, and the game has a flow. And when someone else is interrupting it, it's very jarring. You can just get knocked out of it. But I think in the future.
So sorry, I want to interrupt this for just a second. We saw Declare actually, that when they returned to club, Declare roughed and played a low spade out of his hand. Since he knew that West must have the guarded queen of spades, his best shot at stealing a trick was actually just to get one spade through West and give them a problem. But Ben was not going to fall for that. Yes.
This play was kind of insane though, because are you sure this happened? Because if Ben returns a spade, then he can't rough both his diamonds. It's hard to believe he really did that.
Well, he can always take a roughing heart finesse still, in theory.
I see.
I don't. No, I'm not at all sure that he did that, but there
playing
is
by
at
size.
least a fallback of, okay, we can take a roughing heart finesse because now we have 2 dummy entries, right?
True. Like I guess he's risking hearts 6-1 though, and he could go down in a cold contract.
Yes, exactly. So it's I don't particularly like the play all that much, so much as it's sort of an interesting tactical thing to.
It might be a good play at match points, especially.
And does the roughing heart finesse work if Kevin covers? Because you still have a trump, right?
Yeah, it works.
Oh, you can draw trump ending in the dummy, right?
Yes.
It wouldn't work if he had 6 hearts though.
So after this board, according to the view graph, or according to the official scores, I believe the score is 21-5 rather than 30-10. So, we get to do live running scores of all of this as well. So.
You know what's interesting to me is like with the tablets, it actually documents the bidding and then the players enter the results into it. So in the future, it's possible that the ViewGraph operator can just have that sent to them and there won't be ever a scoring mistake.
Yes, that would be very good because it's tough to get right, but yes. So here we see a rather quick auction again. I would. It's an interesting question of maybe whether you should play some sort of Lebensol in this auction, but either way, 3 clubs presumably should do not all that poorly. The trump lead is certainly best for north-south, but even still, there's
9 tough tricks probably.
Yeah, there's enough places to park those spade losers.
So I have a question for you guys. You see on the auction, South opened a spade, and then East came in with a double, and South bid 2 hearts. Would you guys ever rebid your 6-card spade suit instead of your 4-card heart suit? And does the double change anything?
Well, without the double, I'm very strongly in the 2-heart camp, expecting partner to go back. With the double, it's a more interesting question. If, let's say, the spades were slightly stronger, then I would lean towards 2 spades, but probably here I would bid 2 hearts. But I trust my partner to go back to spades.
So for me, I'm a 2-heart bidder. Generally, I think if I had just the absolute worst opening bid and my suit was not hearts, I would consider potentially rebidding 2 of the major. But when I have both majors, both of them are in the game so much that I really do want to get them both off my chest. So I'm a 2-heart bidder. After the double, I think I'm even more so a 2-heart bidder because it's more likely that lefty has a spade stack over me, right? And so if I'm going to bid anything at all, right, where I'm not forced to bid, right, I could just pass. But if I'm going to go out of my way to bid, I want to do something that's more likely to help us land in a good contract versus something that's more likely to potentially have it go double all pass or pass double all pass. And I think when righty makes a takeout double of spades, you have 6 sort of questionable spades and partner's bid a no trump. You know that lefty is certainly a favorite to have 4, sometimes 5 spades.
So Ben has chosen an unfortunate interesting line of play anyway.
I guess South did well not to cover the 10 of spades though, right?
He wants his partner in for if he can get in for another trump.
Exactly.
Yes.
And North can see, especially with Declare having played a diamond to the king, that
I'm not sure why Ben didn't just lead a spade out of his hand at trick 2 and make sure he got to rough 1, which would have been successful here.
Yeah, it's a little surprising.
Yeah.
In some of these, in every one of these cases thus far, the answer has been actually he did.
So far.
But I
But
don't know.
yes,
I mean, first of all, it is the last day of a grueling round robin, and
Yes.
second of all, it's maybe he has some plan that I don't see.
I mean, banking on 3-3 diamonds seems like a lot.
right.
Well,
It seems
very
like we just want to
unlikely.
try to come to six club tricks and ace king ace, right?
Right, that's
And
the easy way to make it is rough one spade in the dummy.
yeah, and like especially at imps, where the over tricks are perhaps a little bit less crucial, right? That my that's certainly where my thinking goes at trick one, right? Is hey, I have, they let a trump, so I'm going to be able to take all five trumps in my hand, and if I can score one rough in the dummy, I'm going to make my contract, and so I would go about sort of trying to plan for that, and you know whether or not that worked. There is a defense then that could give a problem, right? If they return another trump, then when I take my rough in the dummy, there's sort of a question of how do I get off the dummy, right? Um, and
I'm wondering if this can be made or not at this point, if the play is correct.
well, North
Some
is going
some
to have
double.
a bad time on like making a pitch or two, but
Yeah, South might get end played to give West the queen of spades in some variations here.
Yeah.
right. And there's a little bit of a threat of maybe a heart trick, right? Because South has to keep all four hearts, otherwise the heart can get roughed out.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically some double squeezes going on here, right? North and South
Maybe.
and spades and hearts, and North and diamonds and hearts, maybe. You probably
Um,
can't quite rectify the count for
you
it,
might
but
have to duck a spade for that, and they can shift to hearts, maybe.
yeah.
I mean, if I'm declarer here, I think I'm gonna, I've come this far. I see that South has two clubs, so I know that diamonds are not splitting 3-3 now, because I know that South has to have at least 9 minor suit cards and probably 10, because it looks like they have 6 spades.
Yeah, it's just down from here. I mean, Lunstein has enough information to know he can't play a spade. That'll definitely set up the queen that he knows declare has. So he has to hope his partner has the jack of hearts.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, ducking the heart finesse into him, he could now play the heart back.
Well, it's worth noting that if the 8 of spades was in the south hand, it may not be down, right? Because you can reach an ending with where south and west both
Yes.
have. Look at that!
Yes. Ooh.
That 7 of
Oh.
spades was key. That 7
Did
of
he really
spades was
pitch
key.
that?
He may not have realized
Well,
what's
he can
about to
pitch
happen,
on.
right? He needs to pitch the 9 of spades, not the 7, because now
You're at.
this gets roughed. Declare gets out of spade,
Yep.
and he would
Well,
be able to get
actually,
out of his own way.
Ben could just discard on the king of hearts and claim, couldn't he?
Uh,
Knowing
yes,
that.
yes,
knowing
actually,
that-
he should have. He should have. You're right.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. And so yeah, I guess the 7 of spades would have guarded against this misplay from declarer, but you're right. He had a claim if he just pitched on the king of hearts as well. And yeah, it
Huh. Down one.
yes. So it seems like
Perhaps Lunstein did throw the 9 of spades instead of the 7.
Yeah.
In which case it is down one. Like,
perhaps, but even still, it he could, like you said, he could have just pitched on the king of hearts and claimed, right?
But that's an easy kind of play to miss at this point in the round robin. I mean, that's a play you should find, but
Right. I
playing a
mean,
little.
he theoretically knows every single one of South's remaining cards, right? He knows South is 6-4-1-2. He knows they have the king of spades. He knows they have they're about to win the king of hearts, and they have no other cards other than the spades, right? So
Yes.
yes.
I think he definitely should have found those.
If he really didn't play it this way and then did not pitch on the heart, then he'll be kicking himself later
Yes,
for the reasons I said that he should have known.
this is true. So this is another one. The result in the other room, although it says 2 spades making 4 here, I think the other room was only 110. So really, whoever's operating Vugraph in the other room seems to have been having some adventures, let's say.
Adventures in Vugraph.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it seems like this, South probably is going to bid 3 hearts now. Just sort of reject the invite, right? I've shown a limit raise. I have kind of a marginal 4-3-3 hand to begin with. Yes, partners. 2 spade bid makes my queen look a little better, but not by so much that I want to bid a game now. Maybe right. You try with 3 clubs or 2 no, but
2 no's possible, but you don't have anything in diamonds, so it's kind of a little dicey.
Yeah, it's a little scary because partner is showing like 9 major suit cards here.
Well, it looks like the Vugraph's saying maybe this didn't promise a fit, so.
Oh,
well, that's all the more reason why.
Yeah, now
why I would want to bid 3 hearts, right? But
I mean, 2 no seems a little aggressive on 4 little diamonds.
If you're wondering how they got to spades in the other room, West opened a weak no trump, and North showed the majors, and they sort of landed in spades that way.
Still seems like they should land in hearts after 2 diamonds, but I guess if you're showing a invite, right, we can see. Bring that up real quick. Yeah, so you tried to show an invite with spades, and that was rejected and passed around. Yes. Okay. So coming back to the action here, so 3-0 is a nice it's a nice contract in the sense that it kind of feels like you're on a heart finesse through the opening bidder, especially on a club lead.
Yes.
And you'll
at this point, as declarer, you must feel pretty darn good about this.
Yeah. Yeah. But when a heart to the 10 loses to the queen, then the defense just has to be a little bit careful because declared has 3 clubs, 4 hearts, and a spade, and if they're not careful, West might start having some some problem on the pitches here. Now, since this is diamonds.
Looks like no Smith back here didn't.
Yeah, probably the 7 is too hard to read even if they play Smith.
Yeah,
because there's 2 lower and 1 higher, so it looks like a high one, not a low one.
Right, it does.
Declarer arguably did well to hide the 3 and the 2, perhaps.
Yes.
This is sort of a variant of when your opponents are following, when you're following to a trick as declarer, you want to sort of concede or conceal the the cards that are important to the opponents. This is sort of an interesting variant of that, where you're actually leading the suit yourself and trying to anticipate what their Smith play will be and make it harder to read. And so,
by the way,
East-West should be able to untangle the diamonds here to get, but maybe not. I mean,
right. Well, the problem is that West has to make pitches, right?
Right.
Yeah. West may not realize he can throw his clubs away yet, so it would be kind of Kevin to throw his 6 of clubs away early, so that Ben knows the whole club position.
Yes.
Did South need to cash the king of clubs before running the hearts here?
Well, they couldn't really afford to, because that gives that just means that Ben has winners, right, and he can get the ace of diamonds out of the way to avoid.
And the spades are frozen, right? So
the spades are frozen. That's true.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is it he can't really strip Ben now because he can't get back to his hand to cash the club, right?
Yeah, you're right.
For the in play, if he cashed the club earlier, yet Ben still has to keep spades, right? Now he can throw Ben in at the end if he guesses.
Right.
I think cashing the clubs would have been right.
So Ben would have had to throw the 2 of spades away in that very.
Yeah, and to give him a guess, but here Ben's going to have an extra card to keep here and a club exit now.
Couldn't Ben throw 2 diamonds and throws 2 diamonds at a club and keeps a club winner? Is that doesn't Declarer then get squeezed in spades and diamonds on that club, where essentially Kevin keeps a diamond threat, so Declarer has to keep 3 diamonds and two spades, and there's only 4 cards left. So I think you can actually counteract this by pitching 2 diamonds.
Okay.
Because then, if Declarer cash the club, then you pitch 2 diamonds, you keep 1 club winner, so you get let's say they get out a diamond, you win the ace, and cash your club, and
But aren't you pitching on the club? Oh yeah, if you pitch a spade, then they can smother. They can shift to the king of spades and smother your queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look what a nice guy Kevin is, just throwing his club away to let his partner know that.
But actually, doesn't Kevin get squeezed in front of you in the 5-card ending?
No.
Jack and 1 and 3 diamonds. He has to pitch before you on the last club.
But he can afford to pitch a spade, can't he?
I don't think so, because now you can.
Now, if Declarer bears the queen of spades, I just shift to a low spade, right? And Declarer is then locked in his hand and has to partner a diamond.
I was thinking Kevin's cashing the club, or that Ben's cashing the club before the diamonds.
Well,
right?
Declarer has to exit a diamond, right?
Right. So Ben wins that and doesn't. I think it's an interesting.
It is. It is. We can maybe play through it later. But it seems
it's
like
basically this position where remove a club from South and Ben, and remove a spade from Kevin.
Right.
So
right, and so Kevin can afford to pitch a few spades.
He's second spade.
He's trying. Kevin is perhaps not certain what the club position is, because Ben on the ace of clubs didn't throw the queen, right? Which might probably because he was trying to give suit preference, but that may have confused Kevin as to whether Ben had the king or the queen of clubs.
It's a very interesting position. There's gonna be a lot of agony by East and West on this heart. Oh no, they just snapped him.
Right. So it seems like now in this spot, right now the defense can cash the diamonds, and oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Now this is making, if that really happened, they had to figure out to cash their diamonds and then play the club to set this.
Right.
But now Declarer wins the jiu-jitsu battle by throwing them back in with a diamond.
Right. There's sort of they had to strip out all of the diamonds to make, and then they had to strip and end play Declarer rather than being end played themselves.
Then think that they were in played, right? So.
Yes. And I don't quite understand why this wasn't doable, because if South had the king of diamonds in addition to everything else that's going on here, and we're clearly defending as if South has the queen of spades, right? We know that's too many high cards for South, I think.
Yeah, for a 2-9.
Yeah,
and you just can't set it in that construction anyway.
Right, exactly. So I think we have to play partner to have the king of diamonds. So we should play the queen of diamonds out of our hand and another diamond, and or even the ace partner should probably work out to throw the king. But
this is approximately the 5th hand out of 8. I'm raising my eyebrows at the card play. So it is still possible. This is not what happened.
Yes, that is true. But
because East West are really good card players, I wouldn't expect this many plays to make me raise my eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, or it may be a sign of how tired everyone is.
It could be that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, because certainly if we reach this ending, there's no question that Declarer should make this, because West has to have the king of spades in order to have their opening bid.
The view graph says, I don't want a spoiler, but the scoring shows down 1. So
yeah,
probably they cashed out their diamonds correctly and then played the club.
Yeah, so this is a little unfortunate. All of the other days thus far, we've had pretty accurate and pretty good view graph coverage and entry, but this match certainly has, to put it mildly, left a lot to be desired on the on the view graph front. Claimed by South, 1 down. Okay, so clearly something got missed along the way. But it is a fascinating position.
It is. I mean, if you cash the club first, I think it gets incredibly complicated.
It does, yes.
And
Yeah.
because then if it goes diamond, diamond, and Ben cashes a final club, Kevin has to pitch in front of the declare.
Right, but Kevin can afford to pitch a spade, right?
But then he'd be down to the stiff jack.
No, right. He's down to stiff jack, but declarer has to either pitch a spade, leaving them with stiff queen, where that blocks the spade suit, or they pitch a diamond, and that's 5 tricks.
Yes,
right?
That would block the spade suit. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Wow,
so we see the other room had some fireworks here, and
assuming partner gets out with their low spade from king and 1, right?
Well, right. I mean, like we all kind of know, at this point, everybody knows the end position, or at least they should.
Yeah. When you play the jack, everyone knows what's going on.
The hallmark of like expert play is you figure the hand out as it goes along. And by trick 12, you always know the hand. You're not going to miss that.
So
you won't. So this could get exciting. It was obviously exciting in the other room, as everyone has a little something or a lot of something.
Right. Well, I mean, 6 hearts is touch and go. Like there's, I think, just a little bit too much handling.
Well, it's just that you can't get to the dummy to finesse the trump. You just get overruffed on the second round.
Right. Exactly. Right. I mean, anything except 5-1 clubs, and I think you're home. Right. Like, assuming the heart finesse is on.
Which it probably is. South open.
Right. Well, and look at this from Ben's perspective. He has ace, queen, ace, queen, ace. He's red, white, and his partner bid 4 hearts. This 4 heart bid is not a joke, right? This 4 heart bid is probably at least bidding with some hope of making. I'd be tempted to bid 4-0, even intending it as key card, right?
And just be like, do you got a key card part? And if you got one, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to bid his other suit, so he's implying 6-5 with a good hand.
Yeah.
And
okay, that's
probably he's not implying this strong of a hand though. He could bid this way without the ace of diamonds. So I think I would try 4-0 person.
Yeah, me too. I mean, of course, it sucks a little bit because then you don't get to communicate. Hey, I have clubs, right?
Right.
And partner, if partner is having to make any decisions later, that could be a challenge. But
right, the king of clubs could be enough to make the slam here, not just the king of hearts, right?
You're right. You're right.
So five clubs get you there either way, either king. So
I'm not sure I'm raising the slam with just the king of clubs.
Yeah, I don't think.
What if West is just looking for the right game, because he's got longer clubs.
I don't think.
But if you had the king of clubs, would you find a 5 diamond bid over something with the king of clubs? Some sort of last trainee.
I think that's pretty deep. No. That's pretty deep. I think you, at least with this hand, I think you can bid 4 now, and of course you'll hear 0 from partner, and it'll dampen your ambitions, but it might not eliminate them, right? Because you know that it's quite likely that you're off the.
They stopped low. Look at that.
Wow.
This looks like a nice swing to USA here.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm not sure it's deserved, right? In the sense that if you showed me the East-West hands and told me that South opened the bidding, I would certainly be, I wouldn't mind being in slam, but.
So, what is the actual score through 8 boards, Dan?
That's yes, we'll tell you. Score.
If only we had a play-by-play record of what happened at the table that could tell us what the score is after it.
It's 21-9 is the score.
21-9. Okay, so it appears they've corrected Israel's scores here to 21.
Yes.
No, they might just have a bunch of the comparisons wrong. I'm not sure.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's all a great mystery, but
yeah.
Yes.
But it is 21-9, and this will probably put USA back in the lead by 1.
Yes. Right. So it should be probably a 13-imp swing to USA. Of course, Kevin here will be thrilled when he plays. He's already thrilled to see the king of clubs because that means the clubs are not splitting.
He's like, oh my god!
Right. And when it goes jack of hearts, king,
this overruff will make him
amazing.
I guarantee they'll be talking about this hand like when the match is over.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
South is so sad right now. Like, I guess I'll overoff. But
Right. I mean, he can see that there's pretty much no future left.
You pitch.
Yeah, I mean, you pitch and hope for something good to happen, right? Like if you overup, you can see the hand is over. So, you pitch, you hope for something good to happen. Declare is probably.
Well, pitch now it's a heart to the ace, right? So the play.
I mean, it could be the 7 of hearts is like a little. I mean, it's. I don't think it comes into play here, but there's a world where, it could be.
I think I still finesse probably.
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
If you finesse and they play a trump back, are you in danger of losing a club?
No,
you only need 2 more roughs.
No, you only need 2 roughs. Yeah.
It's just a claim if I finesse. If I play to the ace and they're 3-0 like this, I still have to play that.
Right. Exactly.
We'll see what Ben does. I think it doesn't matter actually what he does. I think he makes 5 no matter what.
Well, Ben can't touch a wrong card. Kevin's declared, but but yes. Yes.
King of diamonds and a diamond.
The fact that Kevin's thinking means he has a lot of respect for his opponents.
Mm-hmm.
That they could choose not to trump with the king.
I mean, these are good opponents, right? Both teams are handily qualifying, and you'd be pretty sad to meet either team. I would say probably in the round of certainly the round of 32 and probably the round of 16 of major knockout. So
we'll see what he does.
Aha.
Okay, all right, interesting. But he's going with this line, but I think he's worked out. He's going to make it anyway.
Yeah, you're right. He only needs 2 roughs in his hand, and
he has enough control here.
Exactly. He has enough trumps, enough control that there's not.
He could just pitch the 6 of clubs, but
yeah. So he should be making the so right. I mean, even if South pitched again, South Declarer was going to fire a trump at him, and that was the end.
Correct.
This is the end also, but just faster.
Right.
So 13 imps to USA.
Yes.
Maybe not deserved, but
unclear, right?
In the bank,
it's just a board where who knows where you want to be. You just want to be in the one that happens to work.
Yes.
I think over 4 hearts, it really is an interesting decision for West. 4 out of 5 clubs.
I think 5 clubs brings partner in more, but it's not clear that you actually want to bring partner in more because if
Kevin
you think
Rosenberg,
about it,
why would you want him involved in the decisions, right?
But I don't want him to be sort of making that call blind, right?
Yes, that's true.
I'd much rather when I know what's right, when I know where or what the hand is about, right? Namely the King of Hearts, Ace of Spades, and King of Clubs, and I have Blackwood to ask about that, which is a very straightforward, non-judgment oriented thing, right? Introducing judgment into places where it's unnecessary feels kind of bad.
Well, I mean, if Kevin had the same hand with the King of Clubs instead of the King of Diamonds, Slam's very good.
Well,
right?
We're still off 2 key cards, but
yeah.
Aside from that problem,
through the opener.
Yes.
So would any of you open 2 diamonds with Kevin's hand? By the way,
I would. Yeah,
I would as well.
I mean, with both majors here, it's a little sick, but
it's a little sick.
I don't know. I mean, I have good diamond spots. If I didn't have a 2 diamond opening, I would not open 3 for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But
and over 2 diamonds, if partner bids 2 hearts, you splinter, and if partner bids 2 spades, you just bid game. Or do you splinter as well over 2 spades?
I would splinter in either case.
I think I would too.
So at the other table, they had the same auction basically, but East overcalled 3 diamonds over the puppet bid.
Well, he didn't have a 5-card major.
East, you're right.
Yes.
East was responding to puppet.
Exactly. Well, they asked. It's responding. And that understandably went double all pass, and they took the money rather than
double all pass.
Yeah. Okay. That seems reasonable. I mean, it's hard to blame North South for taking the money there.
Hard to blame South for taking the money. You've got all these aces and the king of trumps, and your partner has a game for us. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Probably a little disappointed to only get 500. In fact,
yeah,
but it's the fact that they have this side 4/4 heart fit is actually what makes the difference.
Correct.
So despite Kevin having never bid the suit, Ben did in fact lead his partner's ace queen 9/8 sixth. But it's hard to imagine really wanting to lead anything else, right? You might as well go for a rough and lead your sort of natural honor doubleton rather than guessing.
Absolutely.
So
when in doubt, I usually just lead my doubletons against suit contracts. Like it's usually pretty safe, and sometimes you get a rough.
I like it with 2-2, especially when the opponents are in 4-card or 4/4 fits, because a lot of times then they play, when you lead your doubleton, they play you to have 3 trumps, right?
And finesse you with a queen or whatever they're missing.
Yes, exactly. And so this 8 of diamonds, I think, is probably intended as low suit preference, but of course today Ben won't really get on lead to do anything about that until it's far too late.
So. Well, I'll tell you this: on this layout, Declare better draw the trumps.
Yes, this is true. This is true. And then this is in fact why especially at match points you might think about, oh, let's go messing around with other things, but at imps, sometimes even though your opponents have passed throughout, things can be pretty wildly unfriendly without you knowing about it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, from South's perspective at the other table, the double of 3 diamonds, as you said, you're kind of disappointed to only get 500, but it's the right kind of math at imps, right? Like the 3 or 4 imps, no big deal. When it on a good day, sometimes you collect 8 or 11 here.
Right, or game was going down, right? Because
down.
Everything was so shapely and splitting poorly and whatever else. Maybe you weren't even making game, right? I mean,
right.
even today, it's not like your partner has a fairly good good fitting hand, and it's not like you're claiming, right? If trumps went 4-1, if they managed to find a club rough, like all sorts of things could have potentially thrown a wrench in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this club shift should clarify things and finish things off pretty quickly.
Result in a climb.
I think Ben realized he needed his partner to have the ace of clubs, even though he couldn't, and then played one. If he played a club at all, yeah.
Yes. Well, he had a club control, which is kind of like the ace of clubs, but they got rid of it.
It was an ace of clubs before Trump was drawn.
Yes.
After.
Yes, exactly.
Well, 4 imps to Israel.
Yes, and that one is in fact supported by the live score. So
yes, which means that Israel is now up by 3 with 2 boards to go.
Yes,
that is what our view graph says as well.
Well,
did they correct?
I think they went back and corrected everything. So we do have the correct scores now, and perhaps the operator who was doing all the strange claiming will.
The Netherlands, after this, is, I know they're not on view graph. After 10 boards, they're up 40 over Canada, and so they're really getting close to USA for the leading the round robin. So these last 2 boards are going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's pretty tight up there between USA and Netherlands. Israel was very much in the game. I think they would have needed I think they would have needed a really big win here to to be able to overtake.
This does not look like a good result. But really,
I don't think it sounds like Israel could, even with the big win, overtake the Netherlands.
Yeah, probably not now anymore.
But no, yes. Probably not.
It looks like Tracy Bauer went in and chatted with the ViewGraph operators and got them to fix things. So thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
That is very helpful. And it looks like here, getting to 3-0. How did this even happen?
Well, I'm going to take a look at their auction and tell you.
1-0, 3-0.
I see what happened. So Zach decided there's a reasonable chance the opponents have a game in one of the majors, right? Which is, looking at the north hand only, is certainly possible. and decided to psych 3-0 and make sure the opponents couldn't get together.
Mm-hmm. It's not. I mean, and some of the time, partner has like ace king third of clubs, and they lead badly, and you make it.
Once in a while, you make this. Right.
I don't hate it all that much.
I don't hate it either. No, I don't hate it.
It's a two-way. There are two ways to win, and one middle.
It's a thought. I mean, it's a thoughtful bit. It certainly could have worked.
It shows you why Zach is such a difficult and successful opponent, because he's going to give you problems that you don't normally face. And so if you apply your usual metric to your situations, whoops, this wasn't the layout you were expecting, right?
Yeah. I mean, even today, right? Look at four spades. I mean, if you switch the jack and 10 of spades, four spades is making, right? And Finn probably would have still opened a no trump with that 14, given their style. Four spades is probably making, and you're going at 50 a trick in 3-0. And not only that, but Finn has kind of the worst hand for Zach, right? He has 4-4 in the majors with controls and defense and all this stuff.
Yeah. And
11 high cards in the majors. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I feel for him. Like, I think
I have a lot of sympathy for Zach's position here.
Not only do I have sympathy, but now that we've been talking about it, I kind of like it. It's a very sexy bid.
Yeah.
It's not one I don't think I would have found at the table, but maybe now that I've seen it, I will.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you just transfer it to clubs or transfer it to diamonds with the north hand? Transfer to diamonds and sort of pass.
Transfer clubs. They gave me queen jack 10 9 8.
Yes, I would as well. Right. If you had a gadget where
okay, maybe if they gave me the 8 of diamonds, so I had a straight flush in both suits, but
even then, I would transfer clubs.
And maybe you'd like 6-no trump if you had straight flush on both suits.
Exactly.
4-no quant. 4 spades, right?
4-4 in the minors. Yeah.
You ever seen anyone psych? I've never seen anyone psych a quantitative 4-no trump.
No. Well, because the problem is if partner is in on the joke and bids 6, at some point the opponents who are both looking at 14 might start to wonder, something's up here.
Something weird's
or 13 or
whatever it is. This was an intrepid bid by Zach. This was for me very entertaining, and I like it, but it cost him 6 imps this time.
It did. It's a little unfair, although perhaps this is a bit of karma for the for that 5 heart hand, where at the other table they bid a rather good slam, considering the option he's bidding, and failed. So, and here we see they also got too high again. Michael Berkowitz in chat says, if it was Zach opposite Zach, the opponents could have slam opposite the 1-no.
This is true.
Given some of the things that we've seen him open a no trump with, that's certainly yes.
I'll tell you, Zach, when I play against him, I'm hyper alert because I know that I can't relax because you just never know when he's going to try to get you or slip something past you.
Yes, exactly.
Which is brutal in a long match, right? A day-long match against one team. That's just exhausting to play bridge against.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it's almost hard to have your same pair sit against that player the entire time.
It is, because it's exhausting.
You really need to rotate your pairs through them.
Yes.
So the Israelis stopped nice and low. I guess South went very low because his partners had passed hand. I'd still be a little nervous bidding only 1-no with 14 highs, but maybe they opened all their 11s, and so South just shrugged and bid 1. What do you guys think? Would you ever bid 2-no with his hand instead of 1-no?
I would.
You would.
I'm a 2-no bidder. I think if partner is going out of their way to overcall. We're red. It's a red game. I have ace queen 4 the clubs. All of my cards are sort of positional ones where knowing the opening bidder is on my right is actually kind of good, right? Both my kings look a little better. The ace queen looks good. Even the queen of spades looks kind of good, right?
To be fair, if like North's 8 of diamonds was the jack, this would just be like making or very close to it,
right?
Probably
right. And I don't think anything would have gone differently, right?
Yeah. Right.
And even here, right? The jack of diamonds is allowed to be on side sometimes.
It's allowed to be with Ben instead of Kevin, right?
And with a diamond overcall here. Many times when there's a club opening bid, you don't expect there to be 4 diamonds behind the diamond suit as often.
Correct. So they're more likely to break, or at
More
least
likely to be breaking
some slot.
3-3 for a club opening.
So this is interesting, actually. The diamond suit is totally dead now because the entry's gone. So I think to make this, Declare might have had to duck the opening lead so that Kevin didn't have a heart to return. But now I don't see what he's going to do to make this.
It's going to be pretty tough because he can take 2 clubs. Look what happens if he takes a club finesse, right? And then plays a small maybe.
That was.
But yeah, he's pretty desperate. I mean, he knows he's in trouble.
Right, he definitely knows he's in trouble. But I feel like East is going to have a little bit of trouble, right? Because they're going to have to. They have to duck the queen. Assuming that he had built the diamond trick, right? They would have to duck the queen of spades, and you might be able to sort of force
tuck him in with a club. Yeah.
But I don't. Since West has the jack of clubs, I don't think that's really even doable. So it seems like this might be going down at this point.
I'm saying if you had taken the club finesse, you could tuck in and then led the queen of spades. All right. I guess you have to build the diamond still.
Right. You have so much work to do, and there's just not really enough time or space to do it. So, yeah.
Gentlemen, I'm going to take my leave. I have to go compare with my team for the last.
All right.
That sounds good. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Enjoyed
good having you. Best of luck to your team in the border match.
Yes, there's the border match coming up, which they came 4th in 2 years ago. So they're hoping to do that.
Yes.
Excellent.
Couples.
All right. Happy
just
coaching.
like 3 spots better should be fine, I think.
That's 3 spots. What's the big deal? Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's only 3 spots.
Prepare your cell phone. Your cell phone calls, right?
Dan? Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes. Thanks, Dan. So we'll stick around and close this out in this one now,
sure.
And then I guess once they finish up, maybe go take a peek at the U26 results one more time, and see who is qualified, and then we will call it. So.
Do we have a final result for the Netherlands in Canada, or are they still playing?
I'm not sure. We'll
see.
I'll stay focused over here for a sec. I mean, Kevin might be a minute, right? Because he has sort of a difficult discard on the 8 of hearts, because he doesn't quite know. You can probably tell partner doesn't have 4 clubs. He can tell that because they overtook the heart, he's about to have to make 2 pitches, probably.
The Netherlands has up by 45 after 11 boards. So
that is a pretty good result. So
on Canada. So yes.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
5.
So this now with Kevin having pitched a one card in each black suit, it's interesting. What is Ben supposed to play now, right? Like he's cashed both hearts. Maybe Ben is supposed to play the jack of spades, right, and kind of clarify the position for Kevin. But it's not like the spade suit is kind of frozen, right? The 7 of spades comes into play.
And
if
you end up playing the diamond over, partner's going to be forced to exit with a club, right?
Yes, and to the question in chat, yes, I'm going to be streaming actually more during the knockout stages. So I'll be doing both the 3rd and 4th quarters every day. So that I'll be starting at 8:30 in the morning Eastern, and so we'll do the first segment, which is I think 8:30 to 10:30, and then that's the 3rd, and the 4th is I believe it's 10:50 to 12:50. And I think there'll be a 15-minute delay again. So we'll probably
Adam,
start.
That means you'll have to go to bed at a reasonable hour.
It does. It does. I am not somebody who normally is awake at 8:30. I can tell you I have not been awake at 8:30 at all this week. But I will set an alarm and I will do it, and it should be fun.
We will call you. Don't worry.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So that should be good. We'll have lots more bridge and lots more coverage for the next few days. There should be quite a few U.S. teams in the KO stages. So there's there's definitely a lot of good bridge to come, and hopefully some of the teams will make it through the quarterfinal and so that we can have more U.S. teams to cover for the semifinal and final as well. Because I'm very selfish and I'm rooting for them for those purposes and for my own kibitzing enjoyment. But
yes,
yes.
For those who aren't aware, Adam and Kevin have been on many teams over the years and played together some as well. So
yes. I believe Kevin was almost too old, and the rule about allowing two people who were who had just aged out because of COVID meant that both him and I think Zach wound up being eligible for one more run. And so
for the U26s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so Ben and Kevin reprised their partnership, and Zach and Finn is So we see Ben did in fact shift to the Jack of Spades here.
It was a nice shift.
Yeah, well, kind of, because look what happens, right? If it goes King Ace,
it's a nice
low,
shift for us as viewgraph operators, is what it is.
Well, but still, right? Like this spade suit is kind of messy, right? Because if it goes King Ace low, look what happened. Now Kevin has to get out a club because the spade suit is frozen. But Declarer can win and cash a club and play another club, and Kevin needs to get out of his own way so that Ben can put a spade through his 10-5.
This feels like Declarer misguessed the position of the 10 of spades here, maybe.
Yes, that exactly. So had Declarer covered this, right? Kevin can win, but now Declarer plays ace queen in a club, and the defense has to break spades.
Right.
So, that but because Declarer got the location of the 10 of spades wrong, which I think he should get right, especially because it took so long for Ben to find this shift, and because it's a very strange shift to make, looking at King 9 third in the dummy.
If you have Jack 10 third at this position, you would not lead the Jack of spades here.
Right. Exactly.
It does not seem
like so the combination of those things, I think Declarer should have gotten it right, and because of how the defense pitched, he could have then played ace queen, or he could have then essentially forced a club return, which he could win and exit a club, and the defense would actually be forced to say or forced to concede a trick at the end. But today, it seems like that's not the case, because Kevin will presumably cash the setting trick and get out of club. Declarer will finesse, and that will be 3 more imps. So it looks like the final margin is Israel by 12 imps, which we'll see, I guess. Let's have a look at the results, actually. Come over here. And it looks like it's incredibly close. The Netherlands is only just about one VP behind the U.S. now because of this small loss to Israel.
Yes, looks like it. The U.S. held the loss small enough to maybe hold on.
Most likely. We'll see what the last. So the last board looks like the Dutch went 1 down and 1 heart. So,
but the Dutch already have 19.3 imps, so they can't really get another victory. 19.3 victory points. They can't.
That is a valid point. That is a valid point. Yes. So they're you can't go above 20. So So I guess well done, and congratulations to USA1 on holding on to the top spot in the round robin. They had just enough. And so we can, I guess, see the team names up there, but it's Noah Apteker, Zach Grosick, Emma Kolesnik, Finn Kolesnik, Ben Christensen, and Kevin Rosenberg with Ish as the captain. And so they will get to pick their opponents for the semifinal round. They will get to pick the matchup that they want to play the winner of for the they pick their opponents for the quarterfinal. They get to pick the matchup for the semifinal that they want to play. And so it's quite an advantage, because you can send if there's a really strong matchup, you can send that one to the other side of the bracket. And
so do we know? Yeah, do you basically construct your bracket after? I assume that the second place team pitches second, picks second, and then the third place team picks, and then you you as team one construct the bracket, who's on your side of the bracket.
I believe so. Yes,
That's
that's usually how it works. And
It's a
so
nice.
there's still a little bit of China, Singapore, and Turkey are all very much in the mix, and China is playing Singapore with one board to play.
Yes.
Or Singapore won 5 on the final board. So let's see if that. Wow, look at that! That actually puts
Singapore
Singapore
is
ahead of
in
China
on the final board. Wow.
on the final board with yes. So to Tracy's question in chat, we will be back at 8:30 in the morning tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, and it might be a little closer to like 8:40 because we're again we have that 15-minute delay. I'm going to see if I can double check and see whether that's going to be the same for the knockout phase. But I think probably 8:40 would be a good guess for when we'll be back. And we should have at least a few of the KO segments to cover, which should be great. And yes, this was so it does look like Singapore made it in over China on the very last board, which was a sort of marginal part score deal where they won 5 imps. So. Congratulations to Team Singapore.
And it does seem like most of the pairs know their partners well enough not to bid the 2-no bid that we would have both made with the South hand. So
yes.
yes.
Yes. But I think it is the right bid, especially at imps where we're vulnerable and partner. There's plenty of hands. Perhaps it's also just that we are a little bit more sound in our opening bid style. Right, that there's more hands partner can have where game is good for us, whereas for some of the players who are open very aggressively, when partner's a passed hand and you have 14, even though it's good, it's maybe not so good as to really make the difference. So we see the Netherlands slipped back a little bit in their final score. So it looks like our qualifiers are the top 8 here, which gives us USA1, Netherlands, Israel, Sweden, Poland, Greece, Italy, and Singapore. I'm sure China will be kicking themselves, as usually there's nowhere you can find a 0.25 VPs.
A quarter of a point, yes,
yes.
Clearly. Nobody did it.
I mean, we missed qualifying in Strasbourg by about 0.3 VPs. I missed
Exactly,
in the juniors in Philly by 0.5 VPs. So it's happened. You survive. It sucks, but
you go on to get angry at pairs events. So
right, exactly. Like, you survive, and you get to play again, and yeah. So in any case, thank you everybody, and especially Robert and Dan, who was over comparing with his team, I believe.
Yes.
And for all of the Kibs in chat and Tracy for helping out with some of the scores in chat as well. And we will see you all tomorrow for the knockout phase.
Thanks, Adam. Keep up the good work. See you sometime next week for sure.
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you all later. Bye.